was just about a month ago that we got the rather surprising announcement that Rob Dukes would be returning to Exodus after a little over a decade, of course, replacing his replacement, Steve Zetro Souza, who himself has been in and out of the band over the years. Zetro has had 3 stints with Exodus, and now Rob Dukes is entering his second term with the band. The band's announcement at the time, it was very brief and non-descriptive, simply wishing Zetro the best and announcing that Rob Dukes was back. I did a video on it at the time. I'll put a link to that video down below in the description if you want to check it out. So we didn't really know exactly at the time what had happened. It honestly came as quite a shock, given that the band had just put out a cover of AC/DC's Beating Around the Bush, and they had begun work on their next album, the follow-up to Persona Non Grata. But now we have a little bit more clarity as to what happened. Still really no specifics, but a little bit more of an understanding as to what happened, as we have now heard from both Zetro himself as well as Gary Holt, beginning with Zetro, who just a few days ago posted a photo on his Instagram of himself with Chuck Billy from Testament, hinting that Testament's new record will feature some writing from Zetro. Apparently, he also says in that post that the last 4 Testament records he's done writing for, beginning with the Formation of Damnation. And honestly, the photo of him with Chuck is kind of ironic because when Rob Dukes left the band, he felt that Chuck Billy, who was a part of Exodus's management team at the time, Dukes felt that Chuck had played a role in getting Rob out of the band. But anyways, on Zetro's post, a fan asked him why he left Exodus, to which he simply responded, "I did not leave, I was let go. Exodus parted ways with Zetro." Someone else then commented on that post saying it was a complete shock that he left Exodus, with Zetro again reiterating his other response by saying, "Didn't leave, I was let go." There were others all throughout the comments on that post, essentially all saying the same exact thing, with Zetro repeatedly telling people that he did not quit. Go look at the band's statement, they parted ways with him, not the other way around, etc. So obviously the reason or reasons that the band split with him still being kept under wraps, at least for now. But we have also heard from Gary Holt, who gave just a little bit more insight when a fan asked him, also on Instagram, why Zetro was let go, with Gary responding, "If I told you, you would understand. I've no desire to talk badly about him. It's a marriage being in a band. Behind closed doors, the marriage was done and over." Anytime Exodus changes singers, it's really never a smooth process whatsoever. I mean, honestly, this is probably the most civil lineup change that they've had, at least publicly. In that video where we discussed Rob coming back, which again is linked below, we talked about a lot of the drama at the time when he first left the band. Dukes saying, "Fuck those douchebags," the whole Chuck Billy situation, like I just mentioned, etc. There's always some sort of drama, but looking back at some statements from Gary Holt from previous times when Zetro was out of the band, I mean, my God, was Gary relentless, total no holds barred. Way different than what he just said this most recent time, because according to Blabbermouth, when Zetro was out back in 2004 and Rob Dukes came in, Gary was, to say the least, very, very bitter towards Zetro, saying at the time, "If only you could have heard some of the shit that has come out of his fat pie hole over the last couple of years. Things like, why does Jack Gibson get the same money as me? Who the hell is he anyway? We should hire a bodyguard for South America. If the fans want more than 12 songs out of me, they should pay more money. They are getting their money's worth already. Why is Gary in the front of this promo picture? I should be in the front. That's copyright infringement." True, he said that. There is so much more shit, you wouldn't believe it. This motherfucker sat backstage and cried at Provincia Rock Fest in Finland like a pussy. Wah! Now you can keep your fat fucking ass at home and go off your Atkins diet, like it's working, lard ass, and blow up as much as you'd like. My God, what a quote. And hilariously enough, Gary then further elaborated on all of that, on why exactly Zetro was out of the band both at that time as well as the first time back in 1993 when the band ultimately ended up going on hiatus. Here's what Gary added. "It's like this. Who in their right mind would put up with this kind of bullshit? Yes, he did a killer job on the new album, but mainly because we did not allow him to fuck everything up with his stupid Bon Scott impersonations anymore. We made him sing more like Paul Bailoff. I tried to make it work, more than you can imagine, but he is the most miserable pile of crap to be around. I ended the band in 93 because I could not stand the motherfucker. I vowed I'd never be in a band with him again. This time, it seemed he had changed. for a while. In 2002, when we returned from Europe, he called our booking agent and had him send the remaining deposits to him, and he promptly stole the rest of our money. He was paid more than anyone for our US tour. These shows would have paid him, us, and helped get us caught up to him, but since his ass wasn't getting all the money, he bailed on us, thinking he would take his ball and go home, ending the game. Well, I've got some news, motherfucker. Gary Holt does not go down that easily. But as for Zetro, he does think he could always go solo. I've heard him say it myself. Well, best of luck. You're gonna need it, fat ass. I mean, needless to say, I would absolutely love to hear what really happened this time. I said in the last video I did about Exodus when Rob came back into the band that Zetro has a YouTube channel, Zetro's Toxic Vault. I'll put a link to it down below. Maybe at some point he'll get on there and he'll discuss all of this. He hasn't really uploaded in a while, so I don't really know how likely that is. It's more plausible that maybe he'll do an interview or something in the near future. But, I mean, given the previous toxicity between the two and now him out of the band again, I mean, it really would be incredibly fascinating to know what really went down. But as far as the future of Exodus goes, now with Rob Dukes, as mentioned, they are working on the new album, what will be the 5th studio album with Rob Dukes. I believe their first show with him back is the Decibel Beer and Metal Fest in Philly at the beginning of April, before a very special Bonded by Blood 40th anniversary weekend celebration happening April 25th and 26th, which is also the weekend of late original frontman Paul Bailoff's birthday, and that includes a Bay Area show as well as a Southern California show. There's also some additional shows at various festivals over in Europe coming later this summer. The band is also doing Milwaukee Metal Fest in May. I would have to imagine that there will be a full tour announced at some point, most likely sometime around the new record, so we will have to wait and see. But for now, that's all I got for you. Thanks so much for hanging out. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe below if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time.